So you've got a car in the shop that has a smart charging system. Let me show you guys how to use a lap scope to verify the voltage regulation of an actual alternator while verifying the alternator's output and the engine computer's command to the alternator to begin to charge. Go ahead and grab your scopes. Let's take a look. So in this video today, guys, I'm gonna show you guys how to use a lap scope, how to set it up, and how to verify the PCM's command to the alternator and the alternator output using a 4-channel lap scope. Now, if you got a 2-channel scope, doesn't matter, it's the same setup. If you're not using a scope like mine, you got a snap-on, some other type of scope, it's still the same thing. Lap scope, its job is to measure voltage. That is it. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take 2 leads. One lead is going to go to the alternator command from the PCM. The other one is going to be the alternator output back towards the battery. So I'm going to set those 2 channels up. I'm going to show you guys how to set them up on this RAV4 here. And then we're going to add some loads so you can see how that information changes. So if you guys are ready, grab your scopes, grab your leads, and let's set them up. So looking at service information, we could see that the PCM has an alternator command that comes over here to pin 3 of the actual alternator. This LIN bus is going back over to the battery current sensor, but most importantly for me would be this alternator output. So this is where we're going to back probe on the alternator itself to verify if the engine computer is sending the proper command for this bad boy to actually charge. So it's kind of hard to see, but you could tell that I took my back probe and I went to the black wire, which is pin 3 of the alternator connector here, and then I put my lead on there. So I use flexible back probes, which gives me the better connection. Then my next connection, I'm going to use a 2nd channel with an alligator clip, and I'm going to go to the alternator output so then we can measure the voltage output of this particular alternator. And my last step is to then take an alligator clip with both of my grounds stacked up and go right here to the battery ground. All right, so to set up my scope for channel 1, this is going to be my PCM command to the alternator. Want to keep it at 1x, filter, DC, and keep it normal, no inversion. And with this particular scope, if you notice that 5 volts, so that's 5 volts per division, that's 50 volts for the screen. And then channel 2 is going to be my alternator output. Again, for this one here, I just want to make sure that we're set to 1x and DC, same thing, and then we'll keep it at 5 volts per division. The next thing I want to do is definitely do a capture over time, so I can increase my time rate. Right there's about 1 second per division. So now we can start the car up and then start getting our actual capture. So as we can see now, we're getting a nice good capture there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and anytime we're getting a capture like this, we want to look to see if we have any dropouts. Notice how we have no dropouts in the yellow. Yellow is the computer command to the alternator. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to turn on a load like the high beams. And if you notice, when I turned on the load, we keep having a drop in our command and voltage. So we'll go ahead and stop it right there. And now let's zoom in so we can get a better picture of what happens when I turn on those headlights. So right here, okay, if you notice, this is before I turned on my high beams. This is during my high beams. So we had a voltage drop, just very minute in the blue. And let me separate these so you guys can see them a little bit better. So in the blue, you can see that we had a very small drop of actual voltage. And that happened around there. And it finished about there. So during that time, right, voltage dropped, and then what happened right here is the pulse width or the duty cycle increased. So that means that the engine computer commanded the alternator field higher. This is why we had a change in duty cycle here. Notice how these are wider and these are more narrow. The computer saw that we had a voltage drop, so it increased it to begin to charge more to overcome that actual drop. If you notice, I was able to turn on the headlights and we had our drop or change in frequency right here, or in pulse width, right? We could see that voltage dropped. And I'll add the cursor so you can see it. Voltage drop right there, and my pulse width changed But then what happened right here, right smack in the middle? What ended up happening here is after I released the actual headlights, the high beams, the charging system plateaued. Basically, the engine computer said, we don't need that extra voltage anymore. The load is no longer there. So it stopped producing or commanding that extra charge to overcome that load. This is why we're having that plateau right there. What we want to pay attention to, guys, is anytime you guys are analyzing these types of waveforms, is when you apply a load, you want to see that pulse width change. And when you see that pulse width change, we also need to make sure that our voltage is changing along with it. And in this case, we could see that my computer command and pulse width is right where it needs to be, and voltage is also increasing when this changes, when my pulse width command changes as well, which is a strong indication that the engine computer is commanding this alternator, and this alternator is receiving the command to actually charge. And that's it, guys. That's how simple it is to actually test to see if the computer is commanding the alternator and if the alternator is actually charging. Now, some of you guys might say in the comments, I could just remove the battery negative and go from there. Try it. If it's a computer controlled one, you can actually damage the computer circuit, because when you do that, the engine computer is going to go full field and then it can overheat the driver. Please don't do that. Also, if you're seeing the command like you saw in yellow, but the alternator is not responding, now you know for 100% sure with certainty you have a bad alternator. So this is a good test for you to run so you can narrow it down as to, is it the alternator or is it something else that's causing this particular issue? Data doesn't lie. YouTube says that about 80% of you guys watch these videos, but you don't subscribe and you guys don't turn on the notification bells. So do me a favor, guys. I know this information was beneficial to you. Go ahead and like it, subscribe to us, and drop a comment. Let me know what other videos you would like to see. And if I'm able to, I'll definitely deliver on that for you guys. If you guys want to take advantage of our 3-day free trial of our online courses, take a look at our link in the description here of this video, where you guys can take a look at our online classes. Same thing that I teach here in person. However, there is no labs. You guys would have to do that on your own. We also have a student store. If you guys want to purchase any tools and equipment, they also come with support from us. So you guys check out that link as well. And as always, guys, we are here to better the automotive industry one technician at a time. This starts with you. And I appreciate you guys giving me the time of day. You guys are freaking awesome. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be making these videos. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next one.